Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I thought today, for today's video, I'd just do a full face of nothing new video. I searched this title because I've seen Allie Glines do these videos a lot, and that's what she calls them. So I wanted to make sure that I gave credit and didn't just take somebody else's idea. I mean, it's the same kind of idea as, a shop my stash type video. But I don't ever want to take credit for somebody else's like video title or, I just don't. I'm not trying to steal anybody's ideas. It's a good idea and I want to be able to use makeup that I've had in my collection. And, yeah, so anyway, I looked through YouTube and I saw that like Allie Glines' videos for this title pop up the most, but there are definitely other creators who are using the same title. So hopefully at this point, it's okay to use this title and do this style of video, but of course, Allie Glines is the one that I watch the most do this style of videos. So anyway, it's basically a get ready with me, which most people do these videos just using products you already have. So, gosh, I'm such an overthinker and an over-explainer because I don't ever want anybody to be mad at me. All right, so anyway, let's just jump in and get started. All right, y'all, I have you zoomed in. We're just going to go through what I do. Got my mirror down here. I'm using my Urban Decay Primer Potion. So, let's see what's happening. Today is Sunday when I'm filming this. This is either going to go up on Monday or Wednesday. I'm not sure which day yet. My mom and I are going to go get our nails done, which, holy grow out. Come on. Can you see that? I think it's been like 4 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. Anyway, I'm very excited to get them done. I hope she's up for pedicures too because my toesies could really use it. My toesies. I don't ever say toesies in real life. Anyway, so let's just dive into, I really need, hold on. Let me just kind of like see if I can make this so I'm not like leaning down and out of frame. I'm blind though. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I turned the mirror the right way so that it was magnified, I would be able to see better. Anyway, so as I said, today is Sunday, February 9th. About a week after the Iowa caucuses. Y'all, it has been a week. Let me just tell you. There was so much preparation that went into the caucuses. My husband was a chair. So, he led our precinct and everything went great. He and one of our friends were like the leaders of the precinct. Our friend was the secretary and they did a wonderful job. And we got over, he got on the phone to report the results to the IDP, and we kind of started to figure out that things weren't quite right. So he was on hold for quite a long while, as was a majority of the rest of the state. The palette I'm going to use is the Colourpop Good Sport. I'm going to go in with High Hopes on a Colourpop brush and work that into my crease. So yeah, he was on hold. He finally got through. I don't know if it was like an hour or two, hour and a half, something like that, that he was on hold. The IDP had released this app that they wanted people to report on, but they released it really late. It was released in January, and then there was like training, like more information about it, like a week before the caucuses. So, you know, Iowa's an older state. There's a lot of, you know, people who did not grow up with smartphones and apps and all of that jazz. And so there was a lot of concern about this app. And basically the app did not work. You know, Iowa's getting a lot of heat and has gotten a lot of heat in the national media. Some of that is fair. You know, it was really frustrating because it made the state look dumb, for lack of a better word, and it highlighted an already flawed system, which is our caucuses, which I have mixed feelings about. I mean, the caucuses are a time-honored tradition in Iowa, but they certainly don't reach everybody. I mean, if you're working a waitressing shift or a night shift, you just don't get to caucus, and that's not right. It's not fair. We need a better system. I'm not, you know, Iowa's also not the strongest representation of what America looks like as a country. You know, we only are about 97%, or I'm going to say this, we're 97% Caucasian. That is not what the rest of the country looks like. But with that being said, the caucuses are a tradition. People do take it very seriously. I've spent a lot of time over the past 8-9 months, and as have many other Iowans, getting to know the candidates, really diving into what they're about. And, you know, seeing where they stand at with policies that really matter to Americans, like healthcare, and, you know, that's a big one. And also, like, diverse, complex issues that people face, like economics and race, and how those things work together. And anyway, I'm not explaining what I'm doing at all. I'm bad. Okay, I took that in my crease, and then I took this in my crease too. Now I'm going to take EBB, I don't know, on my finger and put that on my lid. So the results were that Pete Buttigieg narrowly won Iowa. And I I knew that was going to be the case. People in Iowa, I think, like Pete because he's just different enough. Being a gay man, he's just different enough, but not too different that it scares Iowans. I caucused for Warren, so I like Pete. I really do. But I worry a lot about him not getting really any support from the Black community from states like South Carolina. I mean, that's concerning to me, and so yeah. Okay, I'm going to take Sista on a really small Colourpop brush, and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. You know, I agonized and agonized. I originally committed to caucus for Kamala and was just devastated when she dropped out. I committed to her, I think it was early September, and I was excited about that decision. And then she dropped out, and I took some time, and right around that time, the stage went from, like, the debate stage went from, like, a very diverse mix of people to all white people and a lot of older white men. And that's what we had forever in our country representing us. And I'm frankly tired of it. And so, looking at that after Kamala dropped out, I decided, and I've always really wanted a woman, but I just decided that we needed more diversity at that time. I just lined my upper lash line with a black shadow. This is from the ABH palette. I guess it's not, I guess this is new, but it's what I had readily available. This is the Smashbox liner in Baller. I'm going to curl my lashes and put on some mascara. So anyway, I decided to caucus for Cory Booker. And then he dropped out. And I felt like, it's me. I've cursed these candidates. I know that's not really, like, I know I don't have that kind of power. But, my oh my, that was rough. And so I kind of decided I'm not going to pick until caucus night. And then I decided to go to this is the Lancome mascara in Monsieur Big. I decided to go to, you know, Darvin had committed to Warren. He was helping, you know, campaign for her, doing a lot more volunteering than I was or did do. But I decided to go to her rally in Cedar Rapids, and JVN was there, Jonathan Reness. Okay, I'm going to keep moving here. I'm going to pull out my, let me just see here. Let's just pick one of, these are all my foundations. Let's pick one out of here. How about the Luminous Silk? This is old, but we're doing it. It needs to get used up. Yeah, so I went to her rally. Whoopsies. Okay, there we go. In Cedar Rapids. JVN was there. We spent, like, I took my mom with me. We spent, like, all day. We left town at, like, oh my gosh, I don't know, late morning. And she wasn't going to be there until, like, 3. But, you know, I knew it was going to be a big crowd, so we lined up around 2:20. We went to have lunch and then lined up around 2:20. Ooh, that's pretty. Gotta shop my stash some more. Okay, I'm going to top that. I'm going to powder with the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Full Coverage Anti-Aging. So, oops, I forgot to put on concealer. Concealer. This is the Josie Maran Vibrancy. I'll just use this because it's not new. And this is supposed to be shopping my stash, so. So yeah, we went, she was on stage for like a long time, it felt like over an hour. And then she did her infamous selfie line. So we did that because JVN was doing selfies with her. I'd done the selfie line before at an event, so I have a couple selfies with Elizabeth Warren. But you know, never too many. So yeah, I was so excited. I wish I had on camera like just how excited I was. I'm just gonna powder that concealer with my Smashbox Cali Contour. Yeah, I gave him a big hug. Ugh. And for bronzer, I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Light Bronzer. It smells so good. So yeah, did that. And that day, I just decided, I mean, I knew I was probably going to go Warren because I went back to my, like, you know, I really think it's time for a woman in the White House kind of mindset after Corey dropped out. And for blush, I'm going to use Nars's Orgasm. I have it in a, well, let's just use, let's see, that's in Lovejoy. Oh, I forgot about Lovejoy. Madly. Always, where is, do I not have it anymore? Maybe I got rid of it. Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. This is old. So like, anyway, I was swept away and I committed to caucus for her that day before the selfie line, before I hugged JVN, before, yeah. So I signed a card. So yeah, I caucused for Warren that night. And then yeah, it's just like, I'm going to zoom you out. Okay. Looking at the situation here. I'm going to spray my face. So we've realized as the night went on last Monday that we weren't going to get results, which was not normal. I think everybody went home and was like ready for the 10 o'clock news and the results to start rolling in, and it was nothing. No one had results. The national media was furious. Local media was furious. People were like, what is going on? And yeah, it just, because of the app, and then what I saw happened from some news sources is that Trump supporters got a hold of the phone number and were prank calling the number, which I just find just so absolutely disgusting. And just like a complete disrespect for our democracy. Like, everybody should be able to vote and express their opinions and through their vote. And it was really, really frustrating. And I turned on the TV this morning to watch Meet the Press, and Chuck Todd said, his line was, we learned that Iowans can't count, but that the caucuses will count. And that's just like really insulting and rude. And, because some of these decisions, some of the changes that were made because they were requested by Bernie Sanders to the Democratic National Committee after the 2016 election. And I'm certainly not placing blame on Bernie Sanders, but all these changes that got made weren't necessarily at the choice of the IDP. And so that was kind of, working against us as well. I gotta put on some highlight. Oh, yes, I'm gonna use Smoke and Whistles from Colourpop. So, yeah, it was just, and then the next day was a nightmare for, I think, county chairs and, chairs of the precincts. I know Darwin was getting calls all day because the IDP was wanting to come around and collect all the paper, all of the the paper trail, all of the preferential cards and all of that kind of stuff. And so he was getting calls all day about that. I'll kind of close up talking about this. It was so chaotic. So this is how our day ended on Tuesday. So somebody who works for the IDP came around 9:30, 10 o'clock, got the papers. There was some miscommunication, and at 10:20, I opened our garage door, and there was somebody else in our garage. And I was like, because I thought it was the same person who had come back to get the paper, and I was like, oh, maybe he forgot something, does he need help? And I was like, that is not the same person. And I looked, and the other person started talking, and I knew right away who it was. And I was like, oh, it was somebody from another county, and they had just not communicated that the papers had already gotten picked up. And so he had actually gone to my neighbor's house because our street is really, really dark. And so it's like 10:30 at night, and he's, fiddling with our neighbor's garage door. And so around 10:45, I was in the bathtub, And I get this call, no caller ID, and so I don't answer it, and the phone rings again, and I was like, fine. I answer it. It's a local police officer who was like, do you know this person? And I was like, yes, I know this person. I told him exactly what had happened, because they had pulled him over. Like, our neighbors had called the police and pulled him over. And it's just like, that's how the day ended. And it's just been disheartening. I mean, that's a funny story. You know, we can laugh about that, and thankfully, like, the guy who got picked up was like, saw the humor in it as well. And, you know, we were texting some of our friends telling them what was happening, and it was just silliness, you know. But yeah, it's just not been the way we thought it was going to go. And I can't believe I just talked this whole video about the caucuses. You guys are probably like, I don't care, but this is such a big part of Iowa and of me because I'm very politically active. And yeah, it was a big old bummer. And so I need to put on some kind of lipstick. What should I wear? What should I wear? Let's see here. Oh, I think I just want to throw on. Oh, I can't find the gloss that I want. It's probably in my bag. That's not going to look good with it. Bah. No, that's not going to look good with it either. I suppose I can try this one. Well, that's going to do for now because I just can't. Anyway, I did not wash my hair today. So anyway, and now we move on. In New Hampshire, I think they do a primary, which is so much easier. Is Tuesday, so I'm very curious to find out how they're going to vote, and yeah, we'll see. We will see. But all right, you guys, thanks so much for listening to me blab about all this. If you did, I hope you enjoyed seeing me like shop my stash and use some products that I don't use that often just because I use a lot of new makeup. But this is a way for me to be able to use my old makeup, and I wore this look yesterday and I really, really liked it. And so yeah, I wanted to wear it again today. I'm gonna go get my nails done and pamper myself because this working 6 days a week thing is a lot. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video.